You ever walk into a place where you know you don't belong, but something deep in your gut tells you to stay, to stand your ground, even when every eye in the room is burning holes through you? That's where I found Sarah Kane one blistering morning at Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada, standing alone by a rusted gate. Her old flight jacket frayed at the cuffs, her boots scuffed like they'd walked through a decade of secrets. She wasn't supposed to be there, not according to the clipboard jockeys or the smug engineers snickering behind her. But Sarah, she had a reason, one that had been buried under red tape and lies for years. It was 2025, the kind of summer where the heat makes the air dance like a mirage, and Nellis was buzzing with the rollout of the X-7 Shadow. This sleek, next-gen stealth jet everyone was calling the future of air combat. Sarah wasn't on the guest list, but she showed up anyway, her ID card so old it had a typo in her last name, Kane, spelled with a C instead of a K. The young MP at the gate, barely old enough to shave, squinted at it, then at her, like she was some kind of ghost. "Ma'am, this is a secure zone," he said, voice cracking just a bit. "You're not in the system." Sarah didn't flinch, just stared past him at the hangar in the distance, where the X-7's silhouette loomed like a promise she'd been chasing for years. Behind her, a pack of contractors in crisp polos started chuckling. One of them, a guy with a lanyard that screamed middle management, nudged his buddy. "What's this, take your aunt to work day?" The others laughed. Phones already out, ready to turn her into a meme. The MP, trying to keep it professional, stepped closer. "Ma'am, I need you to step back." Sarah didn't move, not an inch, and when he reached for her arm, gentle but firm, her jacket slipped. That's when the laughter stopped. A scar, gnarled and raw, stretched from her collarbone down her shoulder, the kind of mark that doesn't just tell a story, it screams it. "Holy hell," one of the contractors muttered, but another, the lanyard guy, couldn't resist. "Looks like she got too close to the barbecue," he said, smirking, already filming. The MP froze, his hand still on her arm, and Sarah, calm as a desert night, pulled her jacket back up, covering the scar, her face giving nothing away. But someone was watching, someone who knew that scar wasn't just skin deep, someone who'd once seen her name in a file marked classified, presumed dead. That someone was Dr. Lena Voss, a gray-haired engineer who'd been with the program since its early days. She rolled up in a black SUV, stepped out like she owned the place, and barked, "Open the damn gate." The MP hesitated, but Lena flashed her badge, her voice cutting like a blade. "You don't know who this is, do you? Fix your system, kid." The gate buzzed, and Sarah stepped through, leaving the contractors' smirks in the dust. Inside the hangar, the X-7 gleamed under LED lights, a crowd of brass and techs buzzing around it like flies. A giant screen flickered with promo videos, but someone, probably one of the chuckleheads from the gate, had uploaded the clip of Sarah's scar. It flashed across the screen for 3 seconds before a tech scrambled to kill it. Too late. General Marcus Holt, the man running the show, caught it. He grabbed a tablet, zoomed in on Sarah's face, and something in his eyes shifted, like he'd just seen a ghost. "Where is she?" he demanded. By the time Lena marched Sarah into the hangar, the mood had changed. The engineers who'd been laughing now stared at their shoes, and the air felt heavy, like it was holding its breath. Holt didn't waste time. "You flew the Raven prototype," he said, not a question, a fact. Sarah nodded, her voice steady. "Why? 12, emergency test, Mojave, 15. Holt's jaw tightened. "We thought you were gone." Sarah's eyes didn't waver. That was the plan. The room went quiet, and Holt cleared it of everyone out. 5-minute break. Alone with Sarah, he paced under the X-7's nose, the jet's curves catching the light like a predator waiting to pounce. "I read the report 100 times, he said, almost to himself. "Ejection failure. No beacon, no body." Sarah didn't blink. "I crawled 3 miles through the desert after the crash. By the time a rancher found me, your cleanup crew had already buried the site." Holt stopped pacing. "Why come back now?" Sarah looked at the X-7. "Because you're building the same mistakes into this one, and I'm not letting another pilot burn for it." The next hour was chaos, but the quiet kind, the kind that builds under the surface before it erupts. Sarah didn't take the stage for the ceremony, but she spoke to a room of engineers and officers, her voice low, cutting. "You build beautiful machines, but beauty doesn't survive a fire. Egress systems do. Redundancies do. Truth does. She pulled back her jacket, showed the scar again. No shame, just fact. This is what happens when you cut corners. A tech in the back, a woman named Claire who'd laughed earlier, stood up, voice shaking. We didn't know who you were. Sarah's reply was simple. You didn't care. Holt backed her up, his voice like thunder. Anyone who disrespects her disrespects every name on our memorial wall. And if I catch you filming without consent, you're done. Outside, the contractors who'd mocked her were sweating. Their phones were confiscated, and the lanyard guy, Jake, was pacing, muttering. It was just a joke. The security chief wasn't having it. Doesn't matter. You crossed a line. Inside, Sarah was pulled into a classified briefing with top brass and Lena. They grilled her about the Raven, about the crash, about why the telemetry was wrong. She didn't flinch. Your fuel mix was off, and the failover lagged by 12 milliseconds. I told them before the flight, but nobody listened. Holt leaned forward. We're building redundancies into the X-7. Help us test them. Sarah's eyes narrowed. Test them yourself. Throw a wrench in it. See what breaks. I barely survived the last one. Days later, Sarah was back in a cockpit, not the X-7, but a prototype called the Ghost Wing, a sleek, AI-driven recon jet with no manual eject. She suited up, the gear feeling too new, too clean compared to the heavy suit that had burned against her skin years ago. Lena handed her a helmet. This isn't the Raven, she said. Sarah smirked. It's worse. Now we know how it ends. The flight was a gamble, simulated failures, turbulence, AI handoffs. At 50,000 feet, the evac system froze. Sarah's voice crackled over comms. Override's dead. Systems thinking too long. On the ground, Holt ordered an abort, but the AI wouldn't let him. Sarah ripped open a panel, yanked a circuit, and took manual control. The jet screamed, then steadied. She landed, marched to Holt, and didn't hold back. That AI's a death trap. Fix it, or don't ask anyone else to fly it. The Ghost Wing was grounded, and Sarah's flight became legend, a case study in every briefing room. Engineers rewrote code, added manual overrides, and started asking, would Kane sign off on this? But not everyone was happy. A contractor named Paul Reed, a slick type with a chip on his shoulder, pushed back. Her redundancies are killing performance, he said in a meeting, tossing a tablet on the table. This jet's supposed to outrun missiles, not carry extra weight for paranoia. Sarah didn't raise her voice. She just slid her old Raven helmet across the table, its visor cracked, scorch marks black as night. This is what your performance looks like when it fails, she said. Paul shut up, but the room fell to the weight of a truth nobody could argue with. Word of Sarah spread, not just at Nellis but across bases, newsrooms, even Congress. A leaked clip of her calling out the Raven cover-up went viral. Cadets quoted her like scripture. Pilots checked their systems twice. But fame wasn't what Sarah wanted. It was a cage, and she felt it closing in. One night, Lena found her in the commissary, staring at a cold coffee. You're changing things, Sarah, she said. Not just jets, people. Sarah shrugged. I just want the next kid to walk away from the fire. Then, a bombshell dropped. An encrypted file hit Sarah's inbox. Ravenlock, a code name from the past. Inside, black box audio from the Raven crash, her own voice screaming through static. Eject failing. This isn't user error. And a memo. A weld in the exhaust shield, faulty, buried to dodge liability. Sarah stormed Holt's office, the memo in her hand. A weld, Marcus. A goddamn weld. Her voice broke. I thought it was me. Holt didn't look away. I didn't know until last year. They hit it deep. Sarah's eyes burned. I leaked it. To every pilot, every engineer. Holt nodded slow. Then we braced for the fallout. It came fast. Pilots refused to fly untested systems. Bases demanded reviews, and the Pentagon called Sarah to testify. She didn't want to go, but a note from a cadet's sister changed her mind. My brother died in a prototype. Your voice gave us answers. In D.C., Sarah stood in a hangar, the X-7 behind her, and held up the Raven memo. This should have been public a decade ago. Silence kills. Truth saves. The applause was real, but she didn't stay for it. Back at Nellis, the Raven Memorial was moved to public ground. Sarah's name etched beside the fallen, marked survivor. She flew one last time, an unlogged sortie in the X-7, just her and the sky. When she landed, she left a note in a manual. Keep questioning. Keep flying. be louder than the lies. Then she was gone, desk cleared, quarters empty. The X-7, now called the Kane series, rolled out across NATO, every jet built with her scar in its bones. Somewhere, a pilot at 70,000 feet hits an override switch, the system catches a glitch, and they live because Sarah Kane refused to let silence win. So what do you think? Was Sarah right to leak the truth, to shake the system until it broke open? Or did she go too far, risking trust in the chain of command? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where you stand on this. If her story hit you, hit that subscribe button, share it with someone who gets what it means to fight for what's right. This is Heart Tales, and we're here for the stories that don't just burn bright, they change the sky.